What's happening, everybody? My name is Osota, and this is GabeGonzo. We are part of CritMode Squad, and today we are starting a brand new series called Skylines. We are building a city. We are currently on a private server and a private mod pack, and what we've done is we've decided we're going to build in this spot here. This spot has some specific features we're going to go through and talk about. One of the first things we saw when we were exploring in this area was this bamboo forest. It has a great overview of the places where we're going to be building the domes, but it's also covered in podzol. Now, podzol is very useful because you can grow mushrooms on it, but I really just like the way that the bamboo forest looks. I mean, the textures itself, and it's one of my favorite biomes in Biomes of Plenty.
As you can see here, we have tons of sand and a nice sized village, which does have a lot of the basic resources that we're going to need to kind of get things kicked off.
There is a meteor just directly to the southwest of where we're building our city. Now, this meteor is actually part of applied energistics, and in the middle of that meteor is a mat that we need to get at. We can't get at it until we actually have the tools to be able to dig through it. Once we do, we'll be able to build some of the items we need for applied energistics.
This particular location, if you look up, there's actually 2 slime islands right above us. So eventually what we will do is when we get airborne, I'm thinking we may break one down, combine them into a giant slime island, and then just close it off to the public. Make it some sort of wild slime rail ride attraction type of thing for the city. But you know, we'll have a use for them eventually as we get up to that level.
So for this episode, we have 2 main priorities. First and foremost, we need to upgrade our tools. Right now we're currently using flint, and it's not the most efficient method of mining here. So we need to get our smeltery up and running. We started digging out a place for that smeltery, and Gabe is going to be working on that this afternoon. In addition to that, we also need to start building a base for us to operate in. Currently, we only have this little hole in the ground, and it's not something that we're going to definitely need some more room. The village next to our area here, I'm going to go and harvest all the stone bricks that I can from there, and then I'm going to start building the dome that we want using a building guide. A building guide is a block from open blocks. Its recipe is quite simple. It's a torch surrounded by some glass, and it allows you to 3D project the structure that you want to build, and it has a guide for you to place the blocks. I'm going to go grab those blocks from the city, the village nearby, while Gabe is building the smeltery, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Hey everybody. Alright, let's go down here, and this is going to be the Tinker Room. This is the area where we're going to build our smelterer, which is the first main component you're going to need when building your Tinker stuff. Basically, I've already got an area kind of cleared out here. This section here is I can talk about later, but this will be for what we call the high oven. So basically, let me just open up the book. Mighty Smelterer. And basically, as you can see here, is a quick diagram. It's a multi-block apparatus, or station where you can actually melt metal and pour it on top of stuff, as well as pour it into casts, so that you can actually upgrade your tools with better materials. As you can see here, quick recipe is sand, gravel, clay. Gives you some grout, 2 grout, a piece for that recipe. You'll need 4 grout to actually make a brick, which turns into an actual block. And then the bricks individually here can mix a couple of the other pieces and components. The primary components of a smelterer are going to be an enclosed block area, 1 controller, 1 tank, 1 drain. That'll make the smelterer so that you can actually do something with it. That it's not just sitting there as a big old lump of nothing sitting there looking pretty. So let's go through the tank. is where you would actually store your fuel. The smelter runs off of lava. So you will have to probably visit the Nether, or hopefully have some freestanding lava pools someplace in the overworld. Or as you get more advanced, I can probably give you a quick tip. You're going to want a magma crucible. That is a machine later in the line that we'll build. I'll give you a highlight on that as well. But basically, it turns cobblestone into a bucket of lava. So you always have a ton of cobblestone and regular stone that you can kind of always part with. So that's a way to kind of have almost infinite lava for your smelter as well as other items. So the tank stores up to 4 buckets of lava. The glass is more of a decorational item as well as the windows. But from past mods packs, I haven't checked this one yet, honestly. But the window and the glass actually do act as storage for lava, but the smelter doesn't count them as tanks. So it's literally just storing the lava. If the tank runs empty, you can right-click the glass with a bucket and then right-click it to put it back into the tank, so that it's actually usable by the smelter as fuel. Otherwise, the glass and the window just act as decoration to the smelter to kind of make it look a little cooler. Alright, and the faucets here is just a quick 3 V-shape. Casting channels I've never used, but I can get into that another time. You'll need a table and you'll need a basin if you're looking to make blocks of a metal. So you can do iron blocks, gold blocks, emerald blocks here in a basin. But on a casting table, you can use, this is where you would put like your casts of different tinker tools, or an ingot or a round tool, so that you can actually make round ingots, parts, etc., of the actual metal you're pouring into it. Alright, so let's get moving. I do have a couple blocks already set up here, so let's just move everything into the way. And alright, I think we're good now. Let's just put all this up here. Alright, so let's lay out the floor. So basically, a smelterer, like I said, is an enclosed area. So the floor itself is the area where you'll want to kind of figure out what your space is going to be. And by that, I mean you can enclose this, and the part right underneath the floor, right underneath the wall, does not have to be made out of the seared brick blocks. So as you can see here, I kind of just, let me just give you a quicker view, not a quicker view, but a slower view. This is the area on which I want the smelter to actually operate in. So this is a 5x6 area. That's going to give me 30 blocks if I do just one layer smelterer. If I do a second layer, that's going to give me 60 blocks, etc., etc. And the blocks is the number of ore blocks that I can put in there to be smelted down at any given time. Alright, so let's get these put up here. And I can tell I'm kind of running low already, but that's okay. Alright, and same thing. The corners do not have to be filled in. Alright, let's put the drains in. And you know what, let me break down this one just so I have it over here. Where did the drain go? There it goes. Alright. Drains there. Got 4 faucets. Let's put 1, 2, and 3. Now, basically, what the drain does is it acts as a direct interface between whatever molten or liquefied metals are in here, and that's how you get it to the outside world. So what you want to do is you're going to want to put some basins down, a table or two, and this is where basically what you would do is, let's say we melt down a whole bunch of iron. You put the iron, it liquefies, it's in here, it tells us we've got, I don't know, 10 ingots. Well, 9 ingots equals a block, so I would click that once. It would fill this basin up until the top, solidify into a block of iron, and then here I would, I have one someplace in the storage, but this is where you put the ingot cast, right click, and it'll pour out 1 ingot worth of material, of melted material into that location. Alright. Now, real quick, I just gotta go through here. Let me see here. 1, 2. We'll put the controller there. 2 tanks. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will be the drain here. So 8, 9, 10. So we need probably another 10 blocks worth. So let's just go in here and just make a bunch more of this grout. I think I have some already cooked up. So I do have 14 here cooked up. Alright, so that's 16, 20, 24, 28. Let's call it 32. And what that basically means is that I want to click on that. I'm going to cook the grout real quick. And every 4 of these bricks is a block. So I was just doing multiples of 4 so that I can actually start getting into some of these blocks. These I can put away. But as you see here, as you put 4 in a block shape already, it does create the shapes here for the brick. So all I'm doing really is just kind of cooking up the grout, which was made from the sand, the clay, and the gravel. Making a couple seared bricks. Putting them together on a crafting table to get me the blocks that I need. Alright. So let's just put a couple of these down that we need. There was going to be a drain here. We'll put the faucet there. I do have the controller. Now the tank, I think I'm already going to put the tank here. So put the 2 tanks there. Now the reason this tank, I was playing around with this. This tank did have a little lava, and I accidentally put the tank down and right clicked it with a bucket of lava. I did fill some of it up, so I just broke it, which is why it still has lava in it, even when it was in my inventory. Alright. Now the one thing I do have right in my hand is a controller. I'm probably like, oh, put the controller down. When you put the controller down, let's say I put the controller there, and I put one more seared brick, one more seared block right there, that completes the first layer of the smelter, and it'll actually activate itself. The one thing you never want to do is put a controller in there into a working smelter and jump in. A lot of people will use it. Later in the line, I may throw, or maybe Osota will put in like a village spawner, a skelly spawner, you know, anything, any type of spawner somewhere above it. Because once the controller is activated, once the smelter is running, anything that falls in there will melt down. So for villagers, you can have a villager spawner in here, drop them down, and there goes your liquefied emerald that you can use for whatever you want. So that's my word of caution, is never jump into a smelter when the controller is running. Now I can't put the controller in right now. And as you can see, it's just dead in the water. It does kind of show you a few things, but there is no interface here which shows the the interface of how many blocks you could put in here. It does show you the fuel levels. It does tell you there's something, whether there's something liquefied in here or not. But it does not work right now because it's not a complete circuit. The other way you will be able to tell also is you'll actually see particles coming out of the top here, which actually looks like a furnace. You'll actually see fire particles in a fire graphic. Alright, so let's take that out of there so we don't accidentally burn ourselves up. Alright, we got the 12. Let's just cook up the rest of these. Make a couple more bricks. Alright, we got 2 more in there. Let's just do these all in one shot. There we go. That should help us. That should finish us off. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm actually missing 1. So the controller will go there. Let's just go ahead and make 1 more. And we're using 2 because we need 4 grouts. Let's make sure we don't run out of fuel. We need 4 grouts to make the 4 bricks to craft them together into a block. And the way I did the 4 is you need the 4 grout to make the 4 bricks to make the 4 blocks. Alright, so we got the 2 there. The controller will actually look at the bottom of this furnace just to kind of give you an idea of what it'll look like when it's active. Alright, one more and we will be good to go. Perfect. Alright, we'll put the brick on the top. No, that's not what I want to do. Alright, put the controller there. And as you can see there, actually I'll show you this way. You see the fire particles. You see the one layer is active and it's completed. So all the way around there is one layer of seared bricks going all the way around. The floor is completed. There's a controller. There's a tank. The drains are active even though it's on the second layer. Overall, as a multi-block structure, the controller recognizes that there's a drain and tank there. So technically, as you can see now, there is an interface. I can put a bunch of stuff in here. Oh, I got lava in there. It will start smelting and using up some of the fuel. The thing is, if you look at it, it's a 4 by 7, so it's 28, 29, 30, which is the inside surface area of the 5 by 6 areas within the smelter. Because the second layer still has this hole in it, it's not counting as a second layer. So once I put this block in, the interface here fills in these 2 spots, as well as now I can scroll down and have a full 60 layers or 60 blocks of access into the smelter. So as you can see here, the controller has its graphics. There is a seared tank with some lava in it. I have my drain set up. I can give you a quick demonstration. Now, there's two benefits to having a smelter or a smeltery. Is one, it doubles your ore production, meaning that you put 1 block of ore in a furnace with a little bit of fuel, it'll get 1 ingot. When you put it in a smeltery, it actually utilizes it, gets it to a higher temperature, yada yada yada. But this thing is actually going to give us double ore production. So if me, Osota, or anyone else in our crew, put some ore blocks in there, it's going to double the total amount that they put in here because the smeltery uses a higher temperature, and that's just the inherent usage and benefit of having a smeltery. The second benefit is that it actually will mix metals. So obviously I have just iron in here. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to turn to liquid iron. If I were to look up some recipes, I can figure out what mixes with iron, throw that in the smeltery, and it will mix. As long as I had the right ratios according to the recipe, it'll actually mix the metals together to form whatever the new alloy is. And it's the same thing with iron, brass, bronze, any of the other metals that you can find, copper, aluminum, tin, etc., etc. There's all kinds of different unique recipes that you can use. Put them in a smeltery. The smeltery will melt and mix them together based on ratios. Now, the one thing you got to be careful is the type of metals you have in here, because the smeltery will keep it liquefied forever. Even if you don't have fuel in it, once it's liquefied forever in the smeltery. So this, it just, as you saw, those 3 blocks just turn into liquid iron. So these things will stay liquid forever, even if I just run out of fuel, because it's already been liquefied, it's done and over with. The smeltery kind of traps the heat and keeps it liquefied. The problem is that, let's say I were to put gold in here. Well, gold and iron don't mix for anything. So now I have a layer of iron and a layer of gold. If I can put, copper in here. Well, copper, iron, and gold, neither of the 3 mix. There's no recipes for any of the combination of the 2 or the 3. So those 3 layers will stay separate. The problem is once I put like a tin or an aluminum or a silver in there, those do mix with certain things, with certain metals. and they will use up the metal within themselves. So they won't stay separate because it's thinking that you're trying to mix it. So something like gold and silver, they mix together to make electrum. So if you have a layer of gold in here, you pop in some silver because you want to make something else out of silver, or you need it for a silver machinery or a silver gear, not thinking about it. As soon as that silver gets liquefied, it's mixing with the gold and it's making electrum. So you may lose the silver, the pure silver itself, if you have something in there that will mix with it. Now when you go into the interface, if you look at the amount of fuel in the seared tank, you see it's down to 280. It was at around 655-ish or so. It does take a little bit to smelt it, so you're better off smelting down a bunch of ores at the same time rather than doing one at a time. And then when you look at the interface, if you float the mouse over the actual layer, you'll see that there's a layer of molten iron, and it tells you there's exactly 6 ingots in here, which is double the production of the 3 ores I put in there. And then, like I said, you can kind of go in. I have an ingot cast here. Pop it down, and what the multi-block structure recognizes that there's a drain, there's a casting table, there's an ingot casting there. So when I pour it in, it's going to pour in exactly the amount of 1 ingot. And when I right click on the controller, it shows it went from 6 to 5. And you just right click it to pull out the ingot, right click the faucet, and you can just kind of keep going until you've used it all. And like I said, you don't have to use up and take out the molten iron or the molten metal as soon as you melt it down. You can leave it in there for as long as you want. You know, I may go out, I may upgrade my pickaxe and my hammer, jump into our mine, grab some new stuff that I finally got, the level to harvest, bring it back up, and throw it in a smelter for Osota or GabeMeister, so that they can use it later down the line. So let's say I'm offline, I finally got to obsidian level, or I finally got to yellorium level, or whatever. I say, oh great, I got this. I don't think these guys can melt it down, or I don't even think they can use it because their pickaxe is not that high level. Let me put it in the smeltery for them, since I've mined it. Obviously, you don't have to have a certain mining level to smelt it, but they may want to log in. They may say, hey, I see a bunch of metals in here. What's in here? I say, oh wow, these guys, someone got this for me. It's already melted down. Let me make some, new parts out of it for my, my tinker tool. And there you have it. We have our smeltery up and running. Now Osota and I can kind of go through, play around with some of the mixtures, some of the alloys, get everything up and running, get our tinker tools upgraded. But this is a necessary step in order to get to the high oven, because what you actually have to do is you have to make more of these seared bricks, and then liquefy the seared bricks inside of the smeltery to pour over it in order to make what they call scorched bricks, which is the high temp materials you need to actually make the high oven, which will, like I said, will go in that spot when the time comes.
So Gabe mentioned that we do have a city nearby. So what we're going to do, my Chocobo and I, we decide we're going to ride to the city and start harvesting some of the walls. It's there. It is just a city for villagers, but eventually we're going to migrate them to a different spot. But I'm going to harvest a lot of this brick. It's here. They're not going to need it. You might as well take as much as we can. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do some searching around, and hopefully I can find maybe a piece of iron, or in a chest, or maybe a diamond. Make myself what is that? That's weird. I don't know why the steps are there. Odd. But I'm going to search around and gather up a diamond or something, because you can make chisels out of 3 things in this pack: out of obsidian, out of a diamond, and out of iron. So, but what we're going to end up doing is taking all that all this stone that I'm harvesting, and I'm going to use these bricks for our little lag there. Our walls for the dome. I mean, the resources here, it doesn't, we won't have to worry about smelting a bunch of cobblestone to get it. So we might as well take advantage of what's here. I mean, the villagers might not be too happy about it because taking down their defenses. But, well, it's fine. So as you can tell, I've been mining a lot, harvesting all the stone on the wall. I've cleared out whole sections of this village's defenses. They are absolutely not happy, but it's going to go to our benefit. I'm going to head back now. I've been back and forth a few times, but I'm going to head back now and see if I can find myself, or see if Gabe has found a diamond to make a chisel. Or a piece of steel, iron, to make a chisel, so we can start looking at the options for the wall for the dome. So we just got back from raiding the village and harvesting their walls and taking all the stone bricks from there. And what I've done is I've laid out each individual, not all of them, but there's a handful of options that I thought might be interesting as far as the base wall for our dome. There's a few options that I do like. I do like this one. I don't want to hit it with a chisel because then it'll change it. Because that's kind of cool if you did not know. If you hit it with a chisel, left click, it does change the brick to one of the options. Oh, that's actually a pretty good option too. I could go back. Anyway, I'll get it back in a second. So I kind of like this option because it's more of like a focal point, like a bend in the road there. I know that, and I have a few extra of these. These are all one solid block as you put them together. That's pretty cool. But it is going to be a dome that we're building. And the problem with that is that, well, it's not going to be completely circular. So even though it connects, it looks cool like this. I would have to see how it looks. The same thing with this block. This block is also one solid block as well when you look at it and you're not touching it. And that's pretty interesting. I don't think any of the other ones kind of merge together in one big giant block as this. Well, I mean, the pattern does repeat, makes it look symmetrical, but when you have different blocks like this, obviously. But I do like how this kind of looks like one solid block with a bend, and it has the outline. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of options here. I think what I'm going to end up doing is, I know Gabe is in the middle of building the smeltery upstairs in the room we have dug out for that. I think what I might do is I'm going to grab him when he's finished with that, and we're going to take a look exactly what we want to do for this build.
What are we doing? We're trying to figure out what we're going to make it look like?
Yeah, I guess we're going to figure out exactly what blocks we're going to use. I mean, these are all the options for the bricks. Yeah, just from the stone bricks that I harvested from the village that we have by our house. So, I mean, I think I don't know. Do you like any of the ones that are like I guess any of the designs? I mean, there's several different. It's nice how they actually have several different like colors in this as well, like different varieties too.
Well, I guess we gotta figure out like how do we want to do the dome itself? Like, do you want to kind of go like 4 or 5 layers up with one pattern, and then kind of mix it up? Are we putting like glass from layer 5 and over, so we're only going to see the bottom 4 layers of stone?
Well, I think like around this edge here, I want to make some sort of like possibly take like this first layer should all be stone. I think around it, all the way around. So I mean, we could use a few of these blocks as a pattern, and alternate like like for instance, I guess this one here, and then have like a few here, and then even have some something like this in between it. I have this one here. Or even the one that you're standing next to as like a break in it. Give us some sort of pattern, but maybe about 3 high, and then make glass arches up here to the top. But what I want to complete today really is the first wall. First, maybe 3 layer high wall to at least keep the zombies out, and then we can, and the rest of it, even the chocobo possibly. But
well, the one thing I do know is when I was working with, I think I was working with marble, is that this specific block here with the panel actually will connect itself even around corners.
Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool.
So, I mean, the middle piece, I mean, I guess you can probably maybe put this block here I'm standing on right now in the middle of it, or even this one here with the double internal square-ish pattern to kind of go in the middle.
Okay, so you're talking about like kind of like a hinge. Actually would look like a hinge. Like if this whole wall here was, let's say, hold on, let me get the right blocks here. I gotta get into chisel.
Like maybe something like that. I mean, you could go with the Celtic looking-ish pattern in the middle too.
Yeah, this one right here with the somewhat X.
That
Yeah, it's kind of a
ish type of.
yeah, it's kind of like a Celtic knot, I think. Well, I mean, yeah, that might not be bad. I'd like to use that somehow. I mean, but I think what you're saying, right, is like this here, Gabe, right, and then use this as like a hinge.
Yeah, you could do that, and then you can even use it within the wall, like maybe within like this big piece of wall here on the side. You can have it even, frame out like a doorway. Like a double door.
That's the other thing we got to figure out exactly where the entry point is. I mean, I want to get at least safe so we're not being just overrun by things. But
I would probably say, just to be safe, like even for now, like let's say we had the dome completed, we have it completely sealed off.
Yeah.
I would even say just put one on each cardinal point until we just, just by process of elimination, just saying, hey, we never use the west entrance, so let's just block that off and put something against the wall there.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And then once we have this dome at least the wall around here, we could probably remove the base structure here. I do have some plans to dig out some stuff underneath. So we'll have it, but somewhere safe underground, and then the dome will protect us on the inside since everything's pretty lit up. Okay. Oops. Throwing things.
Redo the whole entrance for the actual house to the underground area because the dome will block off the entrance.
Oh yeah. I think when I started digging here, if you look here, there's going to be a stairwell of 3 that starts right about here, that goes down. And then it'll break out. And I'll show it on while I'm digging it, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we could always make, like I said, we can just probably put an entrance at each cardinal point. Maybe the west. I mean, I almost never walk out this west area, honestly. Maybe we can move the chocobos outside the dome to kind of give us more space internally. So maybe this west door is just a single door. We go out. We're in a bigger pen for the birds. And then the birds get a double door that we can come out, maybe a garage door or something a little taller that we don't suffocate in when we try to walk in and out of the pen.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, that. Oh, that's true. No, that's true. All right, so I think what you're saying, we're going to use these 3 types of blocks at least for the base wall going around the structure.
Yeah, can you use the chisel and turn all these blocks into this sunken stone panel one?
Yeah, give me a second. I just gotta create one of them. And
which one are we gonna start using first? The panel one. Yeah,
I like how they have that. I can change all these things into the block as long as I have the sample on the chest here. Whoa.
Pow. Hammer time.
Should we start calling you MC?
No. So what are we at? Here's 4.
Yeah. So that would be there. That would be here if it's going around that edge.
Right. Because then it wraps around. I mean, we can probably make this more of a double doorway, but
you'll have to see what. Actually, I want to. Why do I have that in my hand? We'll have to see exactly what glass actually. Do we have any glass?
I don't know if we have glass with us, but the other option.
We can definitely make some.
We do have carpenter blocks in here, so we could always make a carpenter door.
Yeah, that'd look
a
nice.
Carpenter garage door.
And it would blend perfectly in. You can have it perfectly blend in with the wall.
Yeah.
What I was thinking, Actually, you were talking about an easy way for to get in and out of the well, the garage door would look nice. But I was also thinking about that. I think it's called ethereal glass, the glass you can walk through, but mobs can't. I wonder if the chocobos can actually go through it, or will we just ride into the glass?
I don't know.
Like we ride through the glass, the chocobo get stuck outside.
Yeah, it would get stuck inside only because it only allows players. And some people will have to test that with the glass, but I don't think, because it's an open block glass, if I'm not mistaken. What is it called? Oops, open blocks, right?
Yeah, I think it should be. I think it should be good because I don't remember what the description said. I don't know if it was just hostile mobs.
It's got to be in here somewhere.
But the good thing about the garage door is we could have it like a 3x3 right here on one side, and then we'd only exit and enter in the chocobos through the one side, just
right.
Chocobo transport.
Oh, and we could do as well. It might be interesting. There is there's a block that has. Let me see if I can see what it turns into. No, I'll find it another time.
The glass for the dome, we'd most likely use we'd smelt glass in the smelter for that nice clear glass.
Yeah, but I think
also is that we also have Malice's doors.
What are those? Malice?
It's a new door mod that's been added in that actually has a block called a player sensor. So as soon as you get near it, it'll actually open the door that it's attached to or next to.
Ender.io, I think Ender.io has a similar thing, and it's a sensor for that as well. And a sensor like you're talking about might actually work out really nicely.
Yeah, it'd be good to see if those sensors integrate with either the Melissa's doors or the Carpenter doors. Would be great to have a 4x4 garage door that opens up as soon as you walk near it.
Yeah,
it might actually be regarding like oops, no, I wanted to add something to that. I think it does take a redstone signal to actually trigger it to open up. At least the one I saw that has Ender.io in it. No, I don't. I haven't.
It's just a player sensor. It's literally as soon as you get within one block of it, it'll open up whatever doors you have. I just don't know if it's all doors or only the doors within its own mod.
Well, it's something we're gonna have to test, I think, and that's gonna be. All right, I'm gonna take these blocks, and I'm gonna make some more of them, and I'm gonna do the surrounding walls here, make some doors on this, and then just so we have at least a 3 high security wall to allow us to go through. Whoa.
I'm gonna make a hammer and a chisel for to see if I can mess with the door and make it blend in.
Okay. All right. Well, let me go and make some of those blocks then, and then I'll start securing the area. As you can see, I've been pretty busy. I have done a lot of the design based on what we came up with and decided what bricks to use. I've been following this pattern here using the building guide. And I have to finish off doing the glass here, which I'll probably do on Twitch, and on the glass over here. But I also want to add a little bit more detail. So these blocks are probably going to switch out for some marble in the same type of shape. I like the idea of it. And I also started doing some stuff with some but carpenter's blocks here, just to give it a little bit more detail around the edges, and make the dome, just that much more unique. So this episode, we ended up getting done what we wanted to do. We ended up adding way more of the dome than I was expecting to get done. We also ended up building the smelter, right, Gabe?
Yep, got the smelter up and running. There was some lava in it. Made a couple of some ingots out of the deal. Showed everyone that you can double your ore production by using the smelter, and then we'll show them a little more advanced stuff in another episode.
All right, so I guess till next time, don't forget to like the video, and especially if you enjoy what you're watching. And you can follow us both on Twitch, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, we'll see you soon.
Later, guys.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I
Oh,
actually got
scared the crap out of me.
I got a white chocobo. Look at it. Boo, boo, boo.
Can I hit it? Can I pet it?
No, you can't.
I want to pet it. I want to
It
pet
has
it.
40 health.
Oh,
I'm gonna hurt you.
I pet him. I just pet him.
I'm gonna hurt you.
He's so soft. Let me pet him one more time. Oh, he's so soft.
Don't go in.
Oh my God, Gabriel, get him out of here. He's gonna go in that smelter. It's gonna be over.
It's gonna be.
He almost melted
He's
down.
mad at you. That's why. I think.
He almost melted down. I would have had you crying on camera.
I would have probably killed you because you aggravated.
No, you brought him into a fiery place.
No, you aggroed him. That's why he was going crazy.
If I owned a cat, I'm not taking him to a rocking chair factory.
Oh
What?
yeah, that tail would have gotten stuck everywhere.
That tail would have gotten destroyed.
What the heck are you guys talking about? I mean, I understand, but like, where do you get this from? Where are you getting
Oh
this
yeah, we
from?
kind of pull it out of our ass. No big deal.
Yeah.
All right. So, did you stop recording? Because I like.
Oh,
I like the
no,
part
I didn't.
I like the part where you punched the chocobo. Yeah, you can do that if you want. That's fine. That's just weird.
I'm watching you. Now you watch us. Subscribe to our channel.
Shake my head in shame.
Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook.
I'm gonna use this one day. You know that.